Hi and welcome. I'm Lydia Martin, your host for Eye on St. Lucie. This time of year, our 8th graders have the opportunity to explore and apply for different high school programs. Today, we will learn about the Attractor programs available at our schools, as well as the application and selection process for those programs. Eye on St. Lucie provides an opportunity for insight into programs and policies of our district. So today it's my pleasure to be able to welcome our guest, Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Helen Wild. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I'd like to take a few moments just by having Dr. Wild tell us a little bit about herself and her role here in the district.
Well, hello. I am the Chief Academic Officer, as Lydia stated, and that entails overseeing a department of the Office of Teaching and Learning, which includes our curriculum and instruction support, as well as professional development, federal programs and grants, and so forth. I am a former principal and guidance counselor, so my heart is still with the schools, so really just working to do everything we can to support our schools.
Wonderful. Let's start by just talking a little bit about the high school application process. I know that this time of year can be somewhat stressful for our 8th graders, our families going into high school. We have a lot of great options available. So if you would begin just by telling us a little bit about how that process works in general.
Absolutely. This is the time of year when it becomes really important to start thinking about high school for our 8th graders, or for 8th graders that are not yet in our system but intend on attending high school in St. Lucie Public Schools. So first of all, I would invite everybody to do some research, go on our website, go on the schools' websites, to really look at what is offered. And we could not be prouder, because no matter what school you attend in St. Lucie Public Schools for high school, there are so many opportunities for our students. So the way the process works is, if you don't apply for any special program or any certain school, you will be assigned to a school based on where you live. So it's an attendance zone, student assignment process. So students will hear what school that they're attending later into the spring. The period opens in February, and people usually start hearing those assignments in March. And during that time, the school counselors, the high school counselors, begin reaching out to the middle schools, where they actually go to the middle school and meet with the students to explain their course selection options. And information goes home to the parents so they can be informed and help to make those decisions as well. So that's for students attending the school that they'll be assigned to through the normal process. But there are a number of other options as well. So today we're here to talk about Attractor programs. So we'll talk about 3 schools in particular, because those are the 3 schools that have Attractor programs. And that is Lincoln Park Academy, Westwood Academy, the West Prep Magnet, as well as Lincoln Park Academy. But there's also wonderful programs at every school, and some of them might be unique to those schools as well. So we can talk now or later about other ways to get into schools of your choice as well.
Right. Well, thank you for that overview. I think we'll just dive right in and start talking about the specific programs at those 3 schools that you talked about. Okay. So maybe we'll start with Fort Pierce Central. What is the Attractor program that they have?
Okay. So Fort Pierce Central is a comprehensive high school with a full repertoire of choices, but they have a very unique and special program in aeronautical engineering. And it is an academy program that is a partnership with Embry-Riddle University. So students are actually enrolled in college at Embry-Riddle while they're going through this program. So they're getting college credit there, as well as high school credit, in very specific courses that lead to careers in aerospace science, as well as broader careers in engineering for students that are interested in any field of engineering. Their instructor is actually a college professor, and they take a series of courses, and there are quite a number of courses available to them in that program. They do community projects related to it as well. It's an amazing, high-level, rigorous program.
Wow. Can you tell us any of the specifics about that? What type of things would one of those students be doing throughout their 4 years in high school?
Yes, they will be doing a lot of hands-on learning, as well as traditional academic work that you would expect in a college course of that rigor. They're going to be actually utilizing drones and learning how and why they operate, the science behind them, multiple purposes for them. They learn about flight. They could actually be involved in some partnerships with the airport. So very unique to that school, to that program.
I think I recall visiting that program in the last couple years and recall seeing some students doing some flight simulation.
Simulation, yes. I thought of that as I was answering you. They do have simulators there. So even if they're not at the airport, they are learning how to be pilots and all of the science behind that as well, or to support the industry. Not necessarily to be the pilot, but various ways to support the industry. It's very science specific. And it does require a student who is very strong academically and who has progressed through high-level math, so they would at least need to be in algebra as 8th graders. And it's competitive, so students who are in geometry already may have an advantage, but certainly students that have shown strong academic skills, a strong transcript with A's, B's, and test scores.
Okay, wonderful. Now, if a student is participating in that program, are they able to take other advanced level courses while they are at Fort Pierce Central?
Yes, that's an excellent question, and most of the students do. Most of the students would be involved in advanced placement college level courses, as well as dual enrollment courses with Indian River State College. So they'd be enrolled in 2 different colleges.
Wow.
They might be taking advanced placement courses that require them to take a test, but once they pass those courses, all of those are for college credit. So they're building their college credit at the same time, very competitive transcript. So if they're competing to go to a high-level university, like the University of Florida, or even one of the academies, like the Air Force Academy, they would be building up that transcript to be competitive for entry and scholarships.
Wow. I think I remember seeing a news report where the students also worked with the security at the school, the sheriff's deputies, and they used drones to help police the area. Do you know anything about that?
Yes, they did, and it was about when we were increasing all of our school security and access mechanisms at our schools after Stoneman Douglas. The students actually initiated that project because it was something that they knew the science behind, they had the skills, and then they saw the need. So when I said community projects or hands-on projects, they're often thought of by the students themselves because they know that they have the skills to put those together. So it's a leadership skill that they're developing. They're seeing a community need, and they're bringing all of those skills together into that project. So that was an example that was very timely. So who knows what the current 8th graders will think of into the future.
Right, absolutely. And it sounds like the school, the administration, the professor that teaches these courses is very open to the student voice and listening to how the students see that they could use their skills to impact their school.
Yes, they absolutely are. They know they're grooming future leaders.
How wonderful. Okay, let's transition to Lincoln Park Academy. Lincoln Park Academy has been a long-standing school of choice in our district, so tell us a little about their Attractor program.
Yes, you mentioned that they're a long-standing successful school. Lincoln Park Academy is consistently on the U.S. World and News Report as one of the premier schools in the country, and they achieve that through the sheer numbers of students who develop amazingly impressive transcripts through their full participation in the International Baccalaureate program. And a lot of people have heard of IB, but might not know exactly what it is. It is an international curriculum program, so it's available in every country in the world, and the students are all learning the same curriculum, so they really are developing a world view. They're learning about such vast topics, all different topics, all curriculum areas that lead to an IB diploma. So when a student graduates with an IB diploma, it indicates to colleges and employers that they have challenged themselves with the most rigorous classes in all subject areas. So the students will take these classes in areas of English, math, science, social studies, foreign language, and so forth, so that they show that they're very well-rounded students. Many of the students compete in academic competitions. They tend to be national winners at science fair and history fair. So they're for students who are very academically focused in all subjects. But in addition, those students also have the opportunity to take electives and do other programs as well.
Okay, great. That was going to be one of my questions, that they're not only taking the IB classes, they have an opportunity to access things like orchestra or band, even participate in athletics if they would like.
Yes, and as a former guidance counselor, I would highly recommend that they do that, because it does show that they are very well-rounded. They take care of themselves, because those other outlets are so important for us as well, for stress and everything else. But it also shows that you can balance, you can manage your time very well.
Right.
And it's fun. So those students can take drama, be enrolled in the arts, in orchestra, as you mentioned, many of them are, as well as some of them take dual enrollment at the college just for another experience and to get on a college campus and feel that now. And athletics. Lincoln Park has some premier sports as well, so they participate in those avenues as well.
So what you're saying is, if a student is enrolled in those IB courses, they're going to be taking the same courses that a student, say in Japan or Germany, would be taking if they're enrolled in IB.
Yes, and sometimes they will actually communicate with students in other countries on the same projects. So it really does give you not only knowledge from the books, but real life experience and interactions around the world.
Now, I've heard students talk before about a culminating project that they have at the end of IB. Do you have any information about what that is?
Yes, they do. They have a teacher that's assigned to them as a mentor that walks them through that. So all of their learning can culminate in a project that illustrates what they've learned throughout the years. And then each class also culminates in an assessment that shows what they learned in each individual class. And sometimes that is also project-based, where they're able to illustrate what they know.
So students in those classes are still having the opportunity for hands-on experiences in labs or in computer courses, those sorts of things?
Oh, absolutely. And Lincoln Park also has a Project Lead the Way program, which is an engineering program that is very hands-on.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for that overview. Now let's shift gears and talk about Fort Pierce Westwood Academy, the West Prep Magnet.
Okay, well that is a little bit different because there's two different types of options there.
Okay, so, great. I'm glad that you're going to go through that.
Right, so there's the Attractor program. When we're talking today about Attractor programs, their Attractor program is the Marine Oceanographic Academy, better known as MOA. That's the popular name for it. MOA is very unique, very successful, been around for a while now. It is a partnership with Harbor Branch and Florida Atlantic University, and it is so special in that it is on a different campus. It really gives students the small school feeling. It's about 400 students in grades 9 through 12. And the students take all of their subjects there, although they do have access to electives on Fort Pierce Westwood Academy's campus. The majority of their classes are at Harbor Branch, and they have a focus area every year on the sciences. So they become experts in marine science, marine biology, and they work in the field. And so what does that field look like? It is literally in Indian River. Sometimes you can go out and see the students in the water. And they also work with the scientists that work at Harbor Branch. So every year, or all 4 years, they have face-to-face interaction with really renowned scientists in the field who are doing cancer research and all sorts of environmental research. So if your child has an interest or an affinity for science or research or any interest in those careers, or just wants the small school feeling, MOA is perfect for them. And they also get dual enrollment college level courses and advanced placement courses.
So if a student is enrolled in MOA, they also can take courses at the main campus?
Yes, we have Fort Pierce Westwood Academy has their own bus, so they transport students that are going to take an elective on the main campus at the end of the day. So some of those students will go over to be part of the band or take a foreign language that may not be on the MOA campus. So they are able to get that large comprehensive campus experience as well as the small school experience every day.
Wonderful. Now, the students at MOA, do they have the opportunity to participate in professional lectures and things that the scientists are doing at MOA?
They do. They get invited to their lecture hall
Okay.
as well. And so they are being exposed to things that oftentimes you're not exposed to until you're majoring in marine science at a university level. So the general community might be invited, or it might just be for our students. But what an amazing opportunity, and it's so much fun to go out there and see the students, because what they're learning is so unique and advanced, but fun as well, and really they're so engaged in it.
I can imagine there's a lot of hands-on activities going on there.
Absolutely, yeah.
I know that sometimes, even in the past, they've had the opportunity to go out on research ships or vessels. Is that something that the students still have the opportunity to do?
Yes, absolutely. And similar to what we were talking about at Fort Pierce Central, the projects are timely. So when we're dealing with the Indian River Lagoon and issues with water quality, they can be involved in those as well. And you'll see many of the students will pick those topics for their science projects as well, and take that learning into college, and really can spark careers that they didn't even know existed. Many of them also end up going to Florida Atlantic University's Honors College and continue their work there, because there's a long-standing partnership there as well.
Do the students follow a typical schedule while they're at MOA, so they have their regular classes throughout the day?
They do. They
Okay.
have. It is a regular high school in that manner. They're not losing out on anything, because they do still have all of their other subject areas, just in a smaller environment. And those teachers work together so they can integrate their projects. Sometimes that helps students see the connections between English language arts and the sciences and so forth. So they take all their classes there. They do take dual enrollment with Indian River State College as well. And that is a great opportunity to have. They actually have dual enrollment with Florida Atlantic University as well too. That is something we just added in the last couple of years. So they can be building a very unique transcript where you can't get at any other school.
Wow, that is very interesting. And it really sounds like it's kind of the best of both worlds, if you want that smaller school environment but still have access to the larger school activities and things that happen at a comprehensive high school.
Yes, I've had a lot of students that I've advised or walked through the process who have come to us from very small private schools, and they want to make a change, or their private school doesn't have a high school, and they find that they're very comfortable going there because they do get the best of both worlds.
Wonderful. Okay, is MOA the only Attractor program at Westwood?
Well, MOA is the Attractor program. Thank you for reminding me. But they also are a full magnet school now. Through Magnet School of America grant that we received for the school, they have so many programs now. And so for the magnet school, the application process, and we'll talk about the dates, but the application process is a little bit different. The timeline is different. It's longer. So students can make that choice after they've reviewed all of their programs. But the programs there are built on the fact that Westwood had very strong science programs. So we expanded those, and they're career technical programs where the students are taking, it's like a college major, where students are taking their career technical program as well as all of their academic classes. And they might be at the college level. They might be taking their English class through dual enrollment or advanced placement, or they might not. They might be taking regular level courses. Either way, they can be involved in the magnet school programs there. So some examples of those programs include their veterinary science program. Phenomenal if a student has a love of animals or even medicine. Also the ag program, they have an agri-science program, which is much different than people would think. There are cows and animals, and there's that aspect, but there's also drones and farming and environmental science that is part of agri-science. And we also have a new pharmacy tech program there that is laid out just like a pharmacy. So we find that students are interested in that if they want to be a pharmacy tech, or be a pharmacy tech and work through college and become a pharmacist. So that's brand new and the only one in St. Lucie County. We also have an incredible hands-on robotics lab. And that robotics lab is fun and interesting and very broad. So a student that's interested in electronics or engineering may be enrolled in that. And we have expanded their health science program to include health unit coordinator, as well as nursing and some of the programs that some of the other schools have. And some really advanced technology has been built in, and some college level science labs.
Wow, there's a lot going on there.
There's a lot.
A lot to keep up with. And so this is a lot of information for our families. So first of all, where can families go just for more information about the Attractor programs, the high school programs, the magnet school programs? In general, where should they go?
Right. So the first step and the kind of one-stop shopping would be our website. Okay. So if you go to www.stlucieschools.org, you will find all of this information. I would advise you to go to the section that has the Attractor program information on there, and you will see applications and so forth, and we can share those timelines today. But also go to the school's individual websites, okay, where you can see more that might be student produced, some of the other things that happen at the school, because the website represents a lot more than the curriculum choices.
Right. Yeah. So what is the process if a student wants to apply for one of these Attractor programs at these 3 schools that you talked about today?
Okay, at these 3 schools there is a specific application that they would do, and it's all online. You would do it through our student assignment office online, and the application walks you through what you have to fill in. You have to look at each individual program because they are different. They have slightly different entry criteria, but the school's going to look up what your academic history looks like, and you might have to write an essay. For the International Baccalaureate program, for example, you have to write an essay to show your interest and why you want to be part of the program. So that would be part of that application. And you have to do an application to the school. So it's sort of a 2-part application, but it's all laid out there for you to make it really clear as to the steps that you would need to take. But it's important also to pay attention to the timelines.
Okay.
So for the Attractor programs, IB, MOA, and Aeronautical Engineering at Fort Pierce Central, the period is open right now, and there's 2 rounds of applications. And the first one is going to close on January 8th. So it's open now. It's not first come, first served during the application period, so don't worry if you haven't gotten it in yet. You have until January 8th for the first round. You can only apply for 1. That's the key. You can only apply for 1. And then after January 8th, you'll get your notification as to whether you got in. And then there's a second application period. And that opens January 18th through February 5th.
Okay.
So if you didn't get your first choice, at that point you need to reevaluate. Were you interested in another one that you want to apply for? Or are you then going to look at the school you're assigned to and select from the great programming they have there as well?
Okay, so the students that are interested in one of these programs, the application, the first round is open until January 8th.
That's correct.
And then they're going to apply for the program that they would most like to attend. If they don't get in that round, then there's another opportunity to apply for a different program.
That's right. And
Okay.
all of this happens before they get their notification about their zone school. You can look and see what your zone school is, but it happens beforehand so that when we do send the assignments out to school, we're not going to send you an assignment if you're already going to one of these Attractor programs.
Okay. I know also oftentimes we get a lot of questions about transferring from one school to another. Can you talk about the opportunity transfers?
Yes, and I also should mention the magnet school application process to the, not MOA, but to the, well, and you could do it with MOA after the fact, but all of the programs that I mentioned earlier for West Prep
These
Academy.
are the MSAP programs?
Yes, the magnet school programs. That you need to do through the magnet school application, which is in the same place. You'll see them very clearly marked and distinguished by color. That is actually open now. The priority applications close on December 18th, but it will open up again for a second chance for those people who didn't know or have given it further thought. And then that one opens January 6th and stays open till March 6th. So even after you get your school assignment, you still could make the choice to transfer to Westwood. For your question specifically for other schools. If you are interested in a school that we haven't mentioned today, or you're interested in the schools we mentioned but not those programs, there's two ways to go about that. The first would be the opportunity transfer period, which is it's the choice period really in January, and that will be open during the month of January. You would also go to our website for that. So for example, if you were interested in going to Port St. Lucie High School, you could go there and apply for that, and that is based on room. So we would have to look at if there are any available seats for that incoming grade level, for your grade level and for that school year. So that would be one way. And then the other way, the last way, is in the summer. So it's called a curriculum transfer.
Okay.
The information for curriculum transfers is also through our student assignment office. And that has to do with, I am assigned to, let me just give an example. I'm assigned to Centennial High School, but I want to do automotive. I want to really do automotive. I love it. And so I know it's not available at Centennial because I've done my research and looked at the website. It is available at Port St. Lucie High and Fort Pierce Central. So then I could do a curriculum transfer request, and the principal would have to evaluate if there's room in that program and in that grade level for that student. But it is another way, and we encourage students to look at that. For example, Port St. Lucie High School has a building technology program and a biomedical program that nobody else has.
Right.
So it's unique, and you would use that method to apply to go to those programs.
Okay. Are the opportunity transfer and curriculum transfer only open to 8th graders?
No, they are open at any time.
Okay.
So that, but still based on capacity and whether or not there's room. The curriculum transfer may not be a reasonable option for a junior because it's becoming too late to finish the program.
Right.
Those are based on programs that are at least 3 years in length, and it would be hard to get that program in. So for a curriculum transfer, it would be more appropriate for a 9th grader or a 10th grader.
Okay. Can you tell us about transportation to the different programs? Attractor, magnet school, opportunity, curriculum?
Great question. For the Attractor programs and the magnet programs, transportation is provided. It is district-wide. It does not have the same number of stops. It's a transportation hub system, so you might have to get your child to a location a little further than your regular bus stop, and the student might have a bus transfer, depending on how far away from the school they live. But transportation is provided, so it should not be a barrier. And then for curriculum transfers, transportation is not provided. The parent would have to provide transportation to ensure that the student has strong attendance and their academics don't suffer.
Wow, thank you so much. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Always happy to be here.
You provided so much information, but we look forward to supporting our students in making this decision. And so thank you again for your time today.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
That's all for today. I'm Lydia Martin, and this is WLX TV. On behalf of our station crew and the entire district, thank you so much for joining us today.